I want the world to know, got to let it show. Welcome back to this beautiful channel. I hope you've watched some amazing videos that we posted last month. If not, check them out immediately. And yeah, welcome back. My name's Luke, if you don't already know me. My pronouns are he, him, and they, them, used interchangeably. And today I want to talk about coming out. I came out in 2016. The first person I ever came out to was a close friend of mine. I came out to her after meeting a trans guy for the very first time. After that I came out to like most of my closest friends. I always say this was my first coming out. But it wasn't really. The first coming out was coming out to myself, and that was the hardest thing to do. Because I did have a lot of internalized transphobia. I really hope there will be a video someday which will be in depth about internalized transphobia, because there's a lot that I have to talk about there. There's a lot that goes into this for me, especially like when I just like lately started identifying with the term non-binary. There was a lot of like internalized transphobia being the reason that I didn't, but like also like in general, like just like getting to terms with that I am trans was a lot of like having misconceptions about what that meant, having internalized transphobia, thinking that being trans or like being queer in any way would mean that I would be like excluded from society, all of this. That's kind of like why coming out to myself basically took all my life until I was 17, and yeah, it was a long process, and I always say the hardest person to come out to is yourself. I am incredibly privileged. I knew before coming out that I would not get excluded by my parents, by my family. I never expected it to be easy, and it wasn't easy, and I was terrified of coming out. But I never had to be afraid of literally being kicked out. The thing I was most worried about was that people would treat me differently, that they would look at me differently, that I would all of a sudden just like be someone else to them. But that didn't really happen. I didn't really have any negative experiences coming out. But what coming out really meant to me, and what I didn't really expect happening, was that after coming out I was so much freer. I like got to know so many more people, but I was also so much more comfortable in expressing myself, and I actually figured out so much more about myself after coming out than I did before, because I was still like hiding so much. And after that I really like I could live freely and like explore who I was, and I was more comfortable with my masculine side afterwards, but I was also so much more comfortable with my feminine side, and like I don't know, I like explored so much, and I got so much more confident. Like everyone just told me like, we see how much happier you are, we see how much more true to yourself you are. And like I think this was like a transition period of like a couple of years. No, I mean like in general, I was just like a little confused queer who found out so much about themselves back then. I went to Chile for 2 months, and I was not out to anyone there. There were some exchange students coming there from my school, but it was like I had just started coming out to my closest friends. So none of them knew I was trans, and like none of them knew I was like, I mean like at this point I was not using the term trans yet. I was more like, I'm not a girl. But none of them knew that, and it was really weird because I lived in this host family, and like I was so much in the process of figuring out so much about myself. Like this was the time when I was like so far away from everything that I was used to from the people around me, that I really got the time to explore so much about myself. I listened to a lot of queer music over there, and I actually used that time over there to come out to a lot of people. First I came out to those other exchange students there, and then what I did was that I sent voice messages to people from Germany coming out, and I was terrified. Coming out to me was a terrifying experience all all in it together. Like, honestly, that was terrifying. So what I did was that before I went to bed, I recorded a voice message. And because of the time difference, I knew that they were asleep at the time they got it, so they wouldn't get to listen to it immediately. Then I went to sleep, and I knew while I was asleep they would listen to that and they would respond to that. So when I woke up, I had all the time to like figure out when to listen to that, and I could like do that on my own terms. And this was very important to me, that I did not like have their like immediate response, but like had some time like to regroup myself. It was actually a really positive response. In a way, it was the easiest time I had ever experienced in my life, because for the first time ever I did not have all this pressure on me to be someone I wasn't. And I want to stress this: be sure you're safe before coming out. Some people will not be accepting. Coming out for me meant that I could finally be myself. But I met so many more amazing people. I have such an amazing community now. I found my girlfriend because of that. Like, all of this would not have happened if I would not have been brave enough to come out. And yes, I'm using the term brave here. Coming out is a brave move because it's scary, because you don't know how people will react. You don't know what is going to happen. But yeah, this is how I like basically first came out to everyone. I mean, coming out to my mom was kind of also like a wonky thing, because like I did not really come out to her. I just like kind of talked to her about like labels and gender, and then told her, oh yeah, by the way, I came out to my friends, and she was like, wait, what? Like, yeah, that was my way of coming out to my mom. I didn't ever really like be like, hey, by the way, I'm trans. And then like it was like this transition period of like, oh yeah, please use these pronouns and use this name, and like, oh yeah, this is a thing that's happening now, I'm on testosterone. Now like that took a lot longer, just so you know. Also, I mean, like I was out in high school in my, I think only in my last year of high school. I was out to all of my teachers, to all the students. Even there I did not have any explicitly negative reactions. I don't want to go in depth about this because it's not really interesting, but like in case you have any questions about this, feel free to leave a comment below. Actually, about all of this, if you have any questions about like how I came out to like my parents, or like at different parts of my family, how my grandpa, who's the only one who has reacted negatively and who still does not accept it, how like this story is, like please leave a comment below. I'm literally open to talking about pretty much all of this. What I want to talk about is like having to keep coming out. I'm still getting misgendered most of the time. I leave the house, and like honestly, not misgendering me is pretty easy. Just don't use she. Just don't use girl. Use any other pronoun. I'm fine. Now I just started college, and the first day I went there was just like, I could totally just be stealth for once. For like a couple of days I just felt like I want to be stealthy. I don't want them to know that I'm trans. I want them to see me as a cis guy. It felt really good to not immediately be seen as a girl, and to have the chance to at least like disillusion myself that like, yeah, I can live with that. But it felt weird. Immediately, like I didn't fit in. I felt like I don't know how these people communicate with each other. I don't know how this works. I feel like I'm the odd one out, and I felt like this all my life. So I decided not to do that, and I'm not really out there yet. I haven't like been there 2 days, so I haven't really like had the chance to like communicate that. I started college last week, so there wasn't like that much of a time period. But like I really do want to come out there, and I want to like be as queer as I am, because I'm not just like a binary trans guy. I'm pretty goddamn queer. And I want to be able to express it, and I want to be able to fight for that. I want to be able to correct the freaking teachers when they talk about like, dear ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me? What about me? Unless you want to literally greet the entire class with like, ladies, gentlemen, and Luke, and like possibly closeted people in here. But like that means I have to out myself. And it's not always a comfortable thing, because like I'm pretty open about talking about this stuff, but I don't always want to do that. I don't always want this to be the first thing people talk about to me, and it quite often is. So yeah, I guess I'll just continue outing myself my entire life.
But I mean, in the end it's fine. I am so much happier, and I am really happy that I came out, and I'm really happy that I continue to come out, because I am genuinely myself, and I'm genuinely queer, and I'm genuinely happy. And this is something I would not have been able to say a couple of years ago. Thank you for watching. If you have any if you have any questions, just like leave a comment below about anything. Like if you have any ideas about what you want us to talk about what you want me specifically to talk about. I saw one comment on the last video that I made about me showing some of my drawings or like my art in general. I will do that at some point. I don't know, like right now I don't feel comfortable with that, and I imagine you will be fine with that. If not, just like whatever. But like I want to get to a point where I'm comfortable enough to show my art. Just like you will probably have to wait for that for a while. Also, like please check out all those other amazing queers on this channel. They're amazing. I'm sure you will love the videos. So yeah, I'll see you next month with another video. Actually, I think I will probably be putting up another video this month as well. I'm not promising anything, but there probably will be 2 videos of me this month.